What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to episode 6 of the official BeatzCoin podcast. I'd first like to apologize for not uploading an episode last week. I had the interviews done, but just didn't get a chance to edit everything before leaving on my trip to Michigan to go see one of my really good friends. Nevertheless, let's dive straight in to episode 6, and that is with Juan Ospina, formerly from the band Zona Rosa. I met him here in the crypto space and found his journey very interesting. So he currently works as a project manager, but he spent many years in the music industry playing with many well-known artists and trying to make it to the top with his band. So he's going to recount his journey as a musician as he talks about his struggles or these struggles of trying to make it in the music industry and how he got so close to reaching a prominent place within the industry itself. So the good, the bad, the ugly, we're going to hear it all. So hope you guys enjoy. Oh, and one more thing before I forget, guys. We were having some technical difficulties during this episode. So kind of in the middle of the interview, the audio changed and my voice will probably sound different because the microphone wasn't working at that time or it wasn't picking it up. So I apologize if you have to kind of adjust your volume in the middle of everything. That was my bad. Okay, so enjoy some music from Zona Rosa, and now let's get started with the show.
Qué irónico cuando decías que en tu vida yo era el único y predicabas que lo nuestro era algo mágico, que nunca conociste a alguien tan romántico como yo. Y ahora que me queda de este amor solo me queda mucha pena, pero me embrujaste con tus movimientos de cadera. Yo encendí la llama, tú apagaste la vela.
My paisano, what's going on, Juan? How are you doing today?
Hey, all good. How are you?
Good, man. Good, man. I appreciate you coming on the show with me. We've got a lot to get into. I know you bring a lot of value as far as information when it comes to music and the music industry. You were a part of it for a while, and I'm excited to have you on, man.
I'm excited to be here. See how I can help.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of similarities. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, your last name is Ospina, which my best childhood friend growing up, his last name was Ospina too. So when I was like, are you from Colombia? You're like, yeah, I'm from Colombia. So we share that in common too.
Isn't it funny how you meet people? I mean, I never thought I was going to meet you out of this group.
Yeah.
I was just looking for things.
That's funny.
Here.
And the funny thing is, for the people who are listening, the way that we met is we have a private crypto group that we're part of called The Jury. And one day I just saw his name, Juan Ospina. I'm like, oh, let's see what he's saying. He was, talking about a call on SRN coin, which thank you, by the way. We're up on that. And we just started chatting, and then I mentioned something about TRX and the project that I'm working on, BeatzCoin, and then you told me about how you were in a band before. We kind of went off from there, and then like that same day you gave me your phone number, and we chatted a bunch. So it's good to finally have you on here.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it.
So tell me, man, I guess we'll start on the crypto side of things since that's how we met. Walk me through your journey of getting into cryptocurrency, because that's usually what we start with when we talk on the podcast.
Well, I wish I could say that I had never heard about crypto, but I did. I heard about Bitcoin when it first started, but I never paid attention to it. And eventually, I think it was like November last year when I kept hearing about Bitcoin, and it was all over the place. And I kept seeing that one day it was $11,000, and then the next day it was $9,000, and then it was $12,000. I was like, man, this is some crazy stuff going on here. So I didn't get into it until maybe a month and a half later when I was like, you know what?
Right at
I'm
the
gonna
top.
buy like, not really. I bought when it was like 12.5 or something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm right
And,
around there too, actually.
and I was like, let me put some money in it, and I put in like a few $100, and I think actually TRX was one of my first coins with Poet, POE, and I didn't buy much. I bought like 300 coins or 1,000 coins. And all those coins ended up going all the way up to like 30 cents. But I had no idea what I was doing, so I just kept them. If I had known, if I had been in the in crypto from before, I would have probably known that I needed to get rid of them for a little bit, at least
Likewise, man.
like sell them and try to buy them when they were lower. But I held everything, and ever since I never sold anything. I just been accumulating more and just buying more and trying to average out my cost. I'm just hodling basically.
Right on, right on. So what was the first coin you actually purchased? Was it TRX?
I don't remember, but I think it was either TRX or Poet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Poe, right? Yeah, yeah, it is
yeah,
Poet, right? Okay.
yeah. It is Poet. Yeah, because it's for people that write and
For
they want
publishing
to
and everything. Yeah.
publishing. Yeah, yeah. So it's POE, and now I'm just way too deep into crypto at this point. I can't look back anymore. This is it,
Reading about things day and night, right?
dude. I listen to videos. So I watch videos. I read the news. I don't listen to the radio anymore. I just listen to people that I follow on YouTube every morning on my way home. It's a little crazy, but
Yeah,
it's fun.
yeah, no, it definitely is. I would say that was me too. About 2 months ago before I started on the BeatzCoin project. Now that's taken all of my time, but yeah, man, it's it's been frustrating, kind of waiting, but it's been cool because we know that we're just accumulating more when we have those opportunities because the next wave up, it's only a matter of time. It's just human nature. We're impatient by nature.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. We're
It's
just we're gonna maintain our optimism.
it's a small market cap. I think we'll get there.
See, yeah,
We'll
that's the
make it all the
thing.
way up, and
That's the thing. You double our market cap, and it's a completely different ball game. You know what I mean? Like that right there alone, and that's like you said. Since it's so small of a market cap right now, doubling it is not asking for much, right? So if we double it, we're going to another level.
originally I got into it because I thought it was something interesting, something new, but I had no idea about the technology or what it brings. But at this point, I feel it's going to change everything.
So Juan, let's shift gears to your music career. So you grew up in Cali, Colombia, right?
Yeah, I did.
What first got you into music? I assume it's from a young age, right?
Well, when I was in high school, maybe 13 years old, one of my friends played guitar. And I don't remember how, but he heard me singing. And he was like, hey, you can sing. You want to just jam for a little bit and play some songs? And I said, sure. Like, I have no idea what I was doing. He was the one that knew how to play guitar and was into music. So we went to his house. He was playing some songs. I started singing them. He liked the way I did it. And we ended up creating a band, like a rock band. We're just doing covers. And I did that for a while with these guys. And I just kept going after that, you know, different things up until now, basically.
So
Up until years ago.
you learned how to play guitar, right?
Yeah, I play guitar. I started as a singer with my friends in high school, but eventually you start learning how to play instruments, and I picked up the guitar, and that's what I learned.
Right, right. And that was that in Colombia as well, or was that when you
Yeah,
moved to
that
the
was in
States?
Colombia. Yeah. I
Okay.
started in Colombia.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what
Then
type
when
of
I
guitar do you play now?
um basically any kind of guitar, like electric or acoustic.
And what's your
I
brand
don't
of
play
choice?
12 strings or I don't play any crazy guitars. I just normal guitars. What do you say?
What's
What brands?
yeah, what's your brand of choice for acoustic guitar?
Well, if I had money, it would be something very expensive, but just Ibanez. Ibanez is my. I think I've had all Ibanez up until now.
That's funny that you mentioned Ibanez because I kind of started learning guitar the same way. I had a friend who I'm actually going to go visit this week in Michigan. He had an Ibanez guitar, and I met him in high school, and he started showing me how to play. So I got myself my own Ibanez, but that's a great starter guitar. And like even once you get like better and become intermediate or advanced, like Ibanez is still a pretty dang good guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I played shows in front of thousands of people with those guitars, so I don't think you need to go crazy. That's all you need.
So I listened to some of your music and it's fantastic. I was able to jam with it right away. Who were like your biggest influences growing up as far as music goes?
Latin groups, Mana.
Oh,
You probably heard about those guys.
probably.
Yeah,
They only come to Houston back in the day. They'd come to Houston and play two shows back to back.
over here
Manias,
in the
yeah,
states.
yeah. I remember my friends would
Oh,
go because we had
wow,
a little band and my friend's band, like all of them would go in both nights. They're playing on Saturday and Sunday. They'd play both those days. But yeah, Mana
that's
is like at the top. Everyone gets their inspiration from Mana, I would say, and then he kind of starts trickling down there.
yeah, and maybe Soda Stereo. Some other bands from Latin America and Central America. And then when I came here to the States, I started listening to other types of music, like Coldplay, I don't know, Jason Mraz, a bunch of other people, John Mayer.
Yeah, that's
I was never. I mean, I like it, but my inspiration was never the classics or the uh, the crazy guitar players. I always liked commercial music.
right, right. Like you would say that like Jimi Hendrix, Elton
Yeah, I
John,
mean,
like
I,
those.
I can appreciate that, but it's not like, oh man, that was my
Yeah,
inspiration.
me
I'm not gonna
too.
lie and say that.
Me too, because if you tell anyone, because most people they're gonna tell you that, hey, the Beatles inspired me, Jimi Hendrix, classics like those that, a lot of people, they influence a lot of people. I'm right there with you, man. It's like, yeah, I appreciate it, but no, I'm honestly like, I liked a lot of the mainstream commercial stuff too. Y'all liked your
Yeah,
Coldplay and, your
I
John Mayer and Goo Goo Dolls, all that.
yeah, you too. Like Muse, bands like that. I
Mute's still going
sometimes
hard
when
too.
sometimes when I hear people tell me, oh yeah, Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles, I'm like, yeah, right, just like everybody else. Tell me the truth. Tell me you like the Bastard Boys and NSYNC and all of that.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Man, so your band Sona Rosa, you tell me kind of a little bit about your history as a musician, because I know the band isn't active anymore, and that's how we kind of got talking about BeatzCoin. What we're aiming to do is kind of solve the problems that really good musicians have, and it's not there's so many people out there that have a lot of talent, but not everyone is going to be a superstar, right? Yet we should all be able to make a living if you have good talent and you have enough of a following, but it's just really, really difficult. So I wanted to bring you on for you to be able to tell us a little bit about that journey that you went through and kind of like the ups and the downs and I don't know, just clearing information because I think a lot of people don't realize how tough it is to make money. Not everyone knows it's tough to be a superstar, but it's tough to make a living, a living to feed your family, right?
I mean, that's 100% right. If all musicians had a chance to just make a normal living, they will stay doing it because that's what they love. But at some point, most of the musicians have to give it up because you have to feed your family, and it's most of the times you either make it as a superstar or you never make it.
There's really no
And
in between, right?
this no, not most. A lot of the times, there's not in between. I mean, I know people that will play forever in bars and small venues, and that's how they make their money. But I don't know. A lot of those people are never gonna live comfortably. They're always gonna be struggling because they make $200 when they gig, or they make $300 on a Saturday night, and some people are
Right, right.
okay with that, but that's not what I was looking for. But when you told me about what BeatzCoin was trying to do, I don't know. I thought it was super cool because I knew about Tron trying to cut off the middleman when it came to music and entertainment and all of this, but I didn't know about your project. And in our case, we we basically, just to give you a little history, I came into the States when what was that, 2001. I think I started playing 2002 with my cousin David. We started the band. We were playing in bars, in restaurants. We were just doing it for fun at that time, and I don't know. We would go and play one night for $50, and it was funny because basically the $50 that we made that night, we will spend it at the place. We'll buy food and buy drinks, and that's it.
Yeah.
We
So
will
it
go
pretty
home with
much
nothing.
just became for fun.
Yeah, it was just for fun. Eventually, we got a little follow up. Like people were following our band, and at that point, we were only playing covers. We didn't have our own music. We decided to start writing music, and people started liking what we were doing. We started getting known in the area, in the tri-state area, New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. And basically, there was like a couple of years when we were playing every single weekend, but still not making any money. We're still making $200 a night, and it was like six of us. So yeah, it wasn't working out money wise, but we were loving it. Like we were giving music everything that we had. We had low paying jobs, and we didn't care because we were trying to make it with music.
Right.
And that lasted easily 10 years,
Wow.
like that. And throughout those 10 years, we were so close, super close to making it. We had shows in front of 40,000 people, 8,000 people, Prudential Center in New Jersey. We played at the City Field in New York. Really, really well known venues in this area. And we play next to, I don't know, Alejandro Sanz. We play
Really?
with,
Wow.
in the same stage with Colombian bands like salsa bands, Grupo Nietzsche, Guayacan, Victor Manuel, a
And
lot of people.
uh, for our English speaking people that don't know, these are huge people in the Latin
Yeah,
community.
in the Latin
Grupo
world,
Nietzsche,
I
Alejandro
forget.
Sanz, man, I grew up listening to a lot of those, and they're still played in Latin parties today all the time.
It
So
was
you
kind of weird. because we were so close to it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
tell me what you mean by that. So close. So close to what in specific?
So close to being up there with those guys. So close to, I don't know, so close to making it as a musician. I mean,
I know one of your songs you
it,
said got into the radio, right?
yeah, we had a song that was played in the radio for a few months. So, but that was towards the end. So before that, we found a guy. I mean, the guy is an amazing guy. He loved our music, and he became our friend throughout the years, and he started helping us. And he had some money because he owned clubs and restaurants in this area, and he believed in our project. So basically, he made us a music video. He helped us record an album, and he knew people in radio stations. So he pushed for our music to be played. But this is the messed up thing. This guy, I don't know exactly how much money he spent, but I have a feeling that there was upwards of $200,000 in our project with the whole thing, with video, with the studio time, with the people that he had to give something so they would play the music for us. And even with all that support that we had from him, it was just not enough. You know, we had people like Juanes listening to our music at some point.
Wow.
But if you don't know the right people in the industry, you're done. I mean, nobody's gonna take your music.
Even if you've got the money?
I'm sure that if you have millions of dollars, you can convince somebody to help you. But I mean, this guy had money, but it wasn't enough, I guess. Even though $200,000 sounds like a lot of money, I think in the music industry is not enough. Because, like I said, our music was played in the radio, but it wasn't long enough. You know, you need the song to play for a few months, so it gets in people's minds, and then they start calling the radio station to request the song, and now the radio station sees that people like your music and they give you a chance with a second song. It just wasn't enough. We were right there. That's what I mean by we were almost there. We didn't make it, but it was beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't change that for anything. You know, it, it was the best experience we ever had. You know, I can never go back and say that I didn't try. And that's basically all I wanted. I wanted to be able to say, hey, you know what? I tried and it just didn't work out. That's why I did it for so long, until I
So
was almost 30 years old.
you gave it a good run. What would you change, or what type of things do you think would make it, easier for more musicians to make it? Because we know that the industry has changed so much, and you were kind of, if we look at the timeline, you were right in the middle of all that shift, where in the beginning people were still, buying music, you can say, and now it shifted all the way to where people only stream music, and that pretty much leaves the people that are trying to make it, those bands and those musicians, with hardly anything. So what, in your opinion, are things that, maybe you could have done different then, or things that can be better now to, make it better for other artists that are up and coming?
Well, like you said, now it's a lot different. Um, if I could do something different now, it would be maybe putting more time into social media. Back then, I mean, it sounds like I'm talking about 50 years ago. I'm not that old, but 10 years is a big difference right now when it comes to social media and platforms to stream your music and all that. I think that if we had, I mean, we had it. We had YouTube and there was MySpace and all the stuff, but we were not involved. You know, like if I had known that you could make it just by opening a YouTube channel and uploading your videos and trying to get followers, and those people are gonna show your music to somebody else, and then you start getting paid something from YouTube, it might have been different, like that's what I would have done different.
Right now, there's
Focus
just
more, yeah,
yeah,
focus more on media and social media and basically free platforms like YouTube, Instagram. I mean, anybody now can go on Instagram and become a blogger and have 1 million followers. And now at that point, you get endorsements and sponsorships, and every time you put a picture, you can get paid for that. It's different.
that's true. I mean, hindsight is 2020. So back then, if you realized, how much reach platforms like that were going to have, of course, you'd put a lot more effort into it. But now you're running into the problem where there's too much content being uploaded and not, it's hard to get recognized. So that's the
Yeah,
problem that we're
that's true.
facing now. And then when you do get, that recognition and, people start seeing your stuff, you get a very small percentage of it compared to what you should be getting, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's
So
why the idea of your project is so cool. I mean, to be able to upload my music and get true followers, because at that point, whoever listens to your music is just because they like it. And if anybody's gonna tip you or buy your music, is is their decision, like
right.
When people ask me what the Vibrabid platform and BeatzCoin is, the easiest way to put it for them, what I usually start out with, not to overwhelm them with so much information, is saying that it's a music ecosystem. So just like, the United States, for example, has its own ecosystem where it uses the dollar and, people transact that dollar back and forth, the same thing goes for BeatzCoin on the Vibrabid platform. So, as an artist, you make money and you make BeatzCoin pretty much by, selling your music, leasing your music, getting it streamed through advertisement revenues and things like that. And at the same time, you can also spend the currency by marketing yourself. So that's where the listener comes in and they get a piece of the pie, you could say, by making BeatzCoin through listening to, new artists that are trying to get their voice heard, as well as, revenue and things like that in the future, or advertisement revenue in the future. So it's a really good concept that we're building off of. So we're taking all the good things from, these great platforms such as SoundCloud, Spotify, Pandora, and taking components of that and making it decentralized to where the artist is making pretty much more of the money, right?
right. And you know what? This might be a game changer. And to be honest, if we had this option years ago, most likely we will have taken this and done one of these platforms and put our music there and try to do everything that we did in the platform, because back then we used to print flyers, do business cards and send emails and all of that stuff. So it's basically the same, except you'll be doing it on the platform.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a solution to me.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah, it's just as hard to get yourself known. Let's be honest. Whether it was 10 to 15 years ago where you were still sending emails, doing business cards, flyers, and things like that. Now you're just doing it all on the net, right? But there's got to be a way for it to be a little more efficient and a way to kind of balance things out and give you more of an opportunity. So that's what we're striving for, essentially, to make more musicians be able to live off of what they do, of what they're passionate about.
Well, hopefully your project becomes like the hub for all of this, like the first thing that people think about when they want to listen to new music.
Right.
Oh, BeatzCoin, let's go there and let's see who's new. Let's see who's the new artist of the week or whatever.
Yeah, and if you think about it, these other platforms, they kind of do that in a way. Like I know SoundCloud does that. I'm not sure if Spotify does it. They'll have their features and stuff like that. But that's why I say we're gonna, we're not reinventing the wheel per se, because let's be honest, these platforms are good. We're not gonna dog them because we use them on a regular basis. So we'd be a hypocrite if we did, right? Because this podcast is available on iTunes and Spotify and all the main platforms. But we just got to take the good things from them and pretty much build it all into something that becomes a go-to, So I think that's going to take a lot of word of mouth and, obviously it's going to take some marketing. But I think once people see, it's kind of like show me the money. Once they see that, hey, I can make a living from this. Oh, man, because people in the music industry are well connected. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, if
it's all about connections.
Yeah. So if you're making music and then your buddy over here who's also making music, they say, hey, we tried out the Viberbid platform. We're making X amount of money from that in crypto, every month. You should try it. It's going to spread out pretty damn well.
Yeah. And this is the future. Not just the platform. I think blockchain is the future, and you guys are pioneers, and being one of the first in doing this is going to be a big advantage.
Well, I mean, everyone in crypto, we're pioneers, you could say, because I mean, yeah, we didn't get into Bitcoin in 2008 or 2010 or even in 2012, but it's still in the very baby stage of it, because the information, the technology can revolutionize the world in so many different facets. Music and entertainment is just one of them.
Yeah, I definitely, I want to come back 5 years from now and be searching for you guys and find out that you guys made it. That would be so cool.
And you'll be part of it by then, because I know you're well connected in the music industry.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, at this point, like even for somebody like us, it doesn't hurt to put up our music up there, upload
Exactly.
it, and who knows what might happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Because think about it, even though, because are you guys still playing together?
No, we haven't played. I mean, we play for fun now, but it's just
no show at a restaurant.
No,
at a bar,
nothing like that anymore. No, I mean, right now I'm just all about family and crypto.
Well, I mean, see, even without that, you put your music up there, at least you're not going to get kind of screwed over from the platforms who are taking a huge chunk of that. Yeah. It's I ran into a guy the other day at the coffee shop I go to. He has a Christian band, and he has his music on Spotify and Apple Music. He says he gets like $30 every like 4 or 5 months. So at least let's say you're only making $100 or $200 worth of BeatzCoin, but you have your music out there. Like, hey, that's income that's coming into you, and even if you're not playing, you're getting what you deserve from it.
Yeah, and people are listening to it, and that's one of the main things that we look for as an artist. That people enjoy your music and it's out there and somebody is appreciating what you're doing.
I mean, exactly. That's what drives you to do it more, right?
That's the original. That's the base point. Like that's the main point originally, and then after that you start looking at, can I make a living off of this? But it all starts with doing what you like and what you love and sharing it with the people that are around you.
That's the purest form of music, before it really becomes commercialized. And if you can make money in its pure form, that's something that's just beautiful, right?
Yeah, that's the perfect life.
Yeah. But I mean,
Living off of music.
aside from how blockchain will change the music industry, I mean, it's something that we got to keep talking about. A lot of people gets me frustrated because they think like, oh, Bitcoin crashed, it's dead because, it went from 20,000 to 6,000, but they don't really understand the future implications and, anything behind the price. So it's something that we got to keep talking to people about, not just Bitcoin, but just the technology and how it's going to take other industries like ours a lot further. But,
well, even if it goes to $1 tomorrow, the blockchain is still going to be there. Hopefully not, but...
No, but that's a good point. That's a good point because, I mean, if it goes to $1, you still have value at $1. People are still going to transact it a lot more, whether it's worth $1 or, $10,000. It's still useful.
Yeah, and the blockchain is still going to be there, and people are going to be able to do whatever they do on it. And maybe at that point they're not going to use Bitcoin. They're going to use something else. They're going to use TRX,
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
we'll see, man.
We'll
see.
I have a back, so that would be nice too.
We'll all be okay. We're all early adopters, so we just got to keep talking to people and spreading the word, just of blockchain in general. For me, of course, it's going to be, and for you too, because I know you love music. But Juan, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we had some technical difficulties, but once we edit all this stuff out, it will right. It'll sound perfect. Well, not perfect, but close to it. But I really appreciate you, man. I'm happy I met you through the jury group, and I know we'll be staying in touch frequently going forward.
Well, thank you for having me. And hey, you should try to maybe interview the coin lawyer.
He's
a cool guy.
He is awesome. He's awesome. I got sold on because it's a private group, you have to pay to get in it. But I got sold just on his personality. He's a nice guy. And I'm sure he's a music enthusiast since he's always listening to music when he's doing his periscopes. So yeah, he'd be a good interview. But we'll leave it there. Juan, thank you so much again for joining us.
Yeah, have a good night. Talk to you later, man.
Que tú quieres más, ya yo no quiero, no, no, no. Y si me dices que tú quieres un poquito más, ya yo te dije no, no, no.
That, my friends, was episode 6. And this is the content we aim to bring you week in and week out. Real stories that we can learn from and gain insight from. It's always great to hear things from other people's perspective. So we'll be back with another episode from our listening series this week too. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, follow us at BeatzCoin on Twitter. I'm ProGera if you want to get in contact with me. Thank you guys so much. Thanks again for listening. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you soon. Peace.